Basic criteria and queries. Let's use the Research Papers database to write a query to list the first name and last name and the state for all clients who live in Ohio. If we're doing this in Access, we would use the QBE grid. When you're taking the exam, you will use a paper QBE grid because you will not have a computer. Notice the query name is Ohio Residents. You could name it anything you want. We only require one table, and that is client. Because this query only requires one table, the foreign key and the join type will be none. We will discuss both of these in a later lecture. Notice the field row. In the field row, we have first name, last name, and state. Those are the fields we want to display in our query, and they're named exactly as you see them in the database. In the table row, we're using the client table, so we specify that under each field. In the show row, we are telling Access when we run the query that we want to display every field. In the criteria row, under the state column, we have a criteria of OH. We are looking for OH in every record in the state field. The OH is surrounded by quotes, so when you're typing in non-numeric criteria, you must always surround it with quotes. When you are doing this in Access, you could type in OH, hit the Enter key or hit the Tab key, and the quotes will automatically surround the criteria. This is because when I created the client table, I specified the data type for the state field as text. You will not have this option on the exam, so you must know the syntax. When I run the query, on the bottom right-hand side, it displays the dataset that is created. It shows all the records of clients with the state of Ohio. The next example, write a query to list the client ID for all payments of $100. Notice I say to list only the client ID. So in the grid, under the show row, I do not have an X under the amount column, or the amount field. The criteria under the amount field is 100. Because I'm using a numeric criteria, I do not surround it with quotes. The resulting dataset is on the bottom of the screen. I have 3 clients who made a payment of $100. The next example, write a query to list the client ID, payment, and payment date for all payments made on March 8th, 2008. Notice in the criteria row, under the payment date field or the payment date column, I have a date criteria. Date criteria is always surrounded with pound signs. When I run the query, the resulting dataset is on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and it's showing all clients that made a payment on March 8th, 2008. The next query, write a query to list the client ID and payment for all payments of $100 or more. Under the criteria row, on the amount field, I have the criteria of greater than or equal to 100. Relational operators are not surrounded by quotes, and numeric data is not surrounded by quotes either. My dataset at the bottom shows the client ID and the amount for every client who made a payment, or every record with a payment of $100 or more.